Great, and now we drop into our last two lightning talks. We have Mitul Taplial, partner at Government and Social Impact Microsave Consulting, and his lightning talk is on IDEA, AgriStack to create a digital agriculture ecosystem in India. So great.
Thank you. This is the second last session, and I'll make it quick. This is my promise to you. So, till the slides come up, I am from Microsoft Consulting. We advise governments and private sector and NGOs and other clients in many areas like financial inclusion, financial services, agriculture, food system, health, nutrition, water sanitation, and digital. So I'm going to talk about AgriStack. A lot has been said so far, a lot of problems have been raised, and I'll be talking about how India is approaching AgriStack. As I was speaking yesterday on the ID platform that India built and the kind of value it has created for the economy, for people, for government and all that. So AgriStack is an attempt to do that. Can you please bring up my slides? The initiative is called IDEA, which stands for India Digital Ecosystem for Agriculture. So it's clear from the name itself, it's an ecosystem approach that India is taking to build an AgriStack. It is just starting off. It's in the formative stages right now, and whether we will succeed or not, or whether it will take the final shape that we are planning right now, only time will tell. And we're working on this with government of India. So I was saying the idea or AgriStack is an attempt to provide all-round digital services to farmers for things such as credit, for inputs, for market linkages, and so on. So all these problems and all these kind of things that farmers need have already been spoken about. When to sow, when to sell, what's the price at which you should sell, and so on and so forth. Now, the approach that is an ecosystem approach, which is around three key buckets. So if you look at the leftmost side, it's the governance bucket, and that's what most of the work which government would do, which is around regulating the whole sector, creating standards for data, governance, and so on, doing research planning, opening up the data, securing the data, and so on and so forth. Middle is the farmer, who will be receiving most of the services, largely from private sector, whether it's about inputs, advisory, machineries, so on and so forth. And on the rightmost side is the market, which is about taking everything from the farmers, buying from the farmers, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the challenges right now, the challenges for providing all these services, there are three key information that anyone would need. For example, imagine you are a banker who wants to lend to a farmer. What is the information that you need to lend to a farmer? The first information is you need to identify the farmer, who the farmer is as an individual. Second thing is the amount of land that the farmer is cultivating. And third is the crop the farmer is doing. If you have to provide insurance, you have to provide credit. Even if you have to buy stuff from the farmer, you need these three informations. And right now, there's a lot of information asymmetry. Farmers don't know who the buyers are, what are the price that they can get in the market, and also the buyers don't know, input providers don't know who the farmer is and whether they have reliable information to provide services to the farmers. So right now the attempt of the government is to build three core registries, and all the whole ecosystem, part of the ecosystem is already there. So all that ecosystem will plug into this. And these core registries are, first is the farmer registry, who the farmer is. Second is the geo-reference land registry, what is the land and which area that land is in. And third is the crop registry. So first registries are more or less static registries because the ownership and the cultivatable land of the farmer will not change every now and then. Of course, it will change, so it has to be dynamic as well. But the crop registry will change about 3 times, 4 times in a year. So this has to be kept up to date through various things. Part of this will happen through on-ground surveys, periodic surveys, through drone surveys, through satellite surveys, and all that, which has to happen every cropping cycle. Now, a lot has been said about the consent and data sharing and so on. So this is how this, and it's a very simplistic view of this ecosystem. So if you look at the center of the circle, these are the three core databases of farmer, land, and crop. And there are core protocols which will connect all of these. On top of it is a consent manager layer. So whatever data will be shared will be through this consent management layer. And on top of it is a unified farmer service interface. So this UFSI, I'm sure many of you would have heard about UPI, which is the payment equivalent for India. So on the similar line, there'll be a unified farmer service interface through which everyone, whether it's government agencies, whether it's market participants, whether it's input service providers, whether it's researchers or anyone will connect through this. And all the data sharing will happen only and only through consent. Other than the aggregate information, which, or I will say non-personal information can be shared without consent. Now, the other challenge in India is the federal, it's not a challenge as such, but yeah, challenge from a stack perspective, is a federal structure. Now, it cannot be built in as one monolith system. So there are 36 states in India, all are sovereign, and then there's union. So you cannot build one AgriStack for India. So there will be 36 AgriStacks that have to be built by several states, and they have to be integrated. And then the layers of consent manager and the unified farmer service interface has to build on top of it to provide services. In its full bloom, that's how it's a very busy slide and very complex slide. So right now the focus is just on building the core registries, and then there are various other startups, various industry which are providing services who are building these three core registries by themselves. Vineet was also mentioning in his presentation that they also built some of these registries as part of providing services. So everyone is building these registries. The idea is if government has one source of truth for everyone to trust and everyone in the market uses it, then the life of farmers will become much more easy. I'll end now. Thank you.